But many don't plan to that end. They get the big gig, the big check, they run, spend it all, and then here to come last quarter, guess what? You standing around with holes in your pockets. You want to know why? You did not plan. If you fail to plan, you plan to fail. You have to think down the line. Welcome to the Rhythm Studio, where we're talking percussion, music production, music technology, and today business. I'm Warren Henry. If you haven't done so already, please hit the subscribe button and the alert bell so that you can be notified when we release new videos. That said, let's get into it. In the last video, I gave you a brief history about myself and introduced my company, Brownstone Recording Company. Like many of you, I started small. Very, very small. As a matter of fact, it was a Tascam 244 Porter Studio with the sole purpose of giving me an environment to work out a few arrangement ideas. I was tired of going to outside studios. It was costing me a ton of money, and don't forget, this is at the time when tape was the recording medium. We didn't have Pro Tools, we had tape. Reels of tape cost big bucks, which I did not have, and I needed another solution to solve my problem. But before spending what was a lot of money at the time, $1,000 for this unit, I sat down and developed a plan. Now, your plan does not have to be an extremely detailed plan. More of an outline with bullet points as to what it is you're going to do, how you're going to do it, and where you're going to find the ever important client. Another part of this plan needs to be a skill assessment. Now, what is it that you do? Because nowadays, everybody with a laptop and Pro Tools and a mic with the plugins is considered a studio. Not only that, they're considered your competitor. So you have to ask yourself this question: what makes what I'm doing any different from what the guy down the street is doing? What's going to give me the edge on the guy down the street? You have got to outline that in the very, very beginning, because that is crucial to your survival in the future. Many of these businesses don't go beyond year one because they don't have a vision for the future. That is of utmost importance. If it wasn't, I'd still be recording to tape today. So you got to ask yourself, what can I offer beyond the standard mixing and mastering that everybody and their brother is doing? Can you play guitar? Can you play piano? Can you play harmonica? Can you do anything that the other guy down the street cannot do? What equipment do you have that goes beyond your DAW? What microphones are you using? What outboard gear do you have? What are you offering that's different? What products, what services, what technical know-how that you have that he doesn't have? What is differentiating you and what you do? Many businesses don't make it past year one. You've got to have a vision for your future and your studio. Point number one. Point number two, discuss your plan with your family. If you're by yourself, this does not apply. If you have a wife and children, I cannot stress the importance of you sitting down and sharing your vision with your family. And this is no joke, because more marriages break up, more relationships break up because of mismatched visions. Your wife or your spouse or significant other has got to understand what it is that you're doing, how you're doing it, and what it's going to take. Because this thing is going to cost you some time, it's going to cost your family time, and that is a sacrifice that all have to be on board with. If one person is not on board with the plan, you need to rethink it and think about how we can all collectively, as a family, come together to understand that this is the vision and this is what it's going to take to get there. One person can sink the entire ship. So it's your responsibility to make sure that everyone understands as clearly as possible what your vision is for this studio, for your business. And they got to be on board. Look deep before you leap. How much is this thing going to cost you initially? Don't think that you could just go out and buy a laptop, a couple of mics, some plugins, and call yourself a business. No. Don't fool yourself. You need at least 6 months living expenses before you venture out. Why? Food costs money. Rent costs money. Utilities cost money. The water company ain't hearing, I ain't got it this month because you done fell short on your bookings. Not gonna happen. Before you even start, make sure you have a solid 6 months worth of living expenses. How much is it gonna cost the family to get on with living the life that they're used to while you get your endeavor off the ground? It's gonna take a minute for you to get some traction with this thing. Understand, nothing happens overnight. That's why it's so important to plan. So with that in mind, you need a job in the beginning. Some sort of job that's going to give you a measure of flexibility. Think about it. Let's just talk for a second, right? Sony, Universal, two of the top entertainment companies in the music business, are diversified. Sony does film, they do music. Universal, film and music. Why do companies diversify? Because sometimes one business loss can offset the other, right? With that in mind, why would you leave your job when you haven't built up enough clientele in the beginning? You've got to wait, pump your brakes for just 1 second and think you're going to need that income for a little while. So what's wrong with starting out part-time? Absolutely nothing. It's exactly how I started out. Businesses have cycles. All businesses go through a busy period and a not so busy period. Like right now for me, it's not so busy in the last quarter. So that's the primary reason you don't want to spend every nickel during your uptime. You've got to make sure you have enough money tucked away for this last quarter. But many don't plan to that end. They get the big gig, the big check, they run, spend it all, and then here to come last quarter, guess what? You're standing around with holes in your pockets. You want to know why? You did not plan. If you fail to plan, you plan to fail. You have to think down the line. Now, there will be a time when you'll have enough resources where you can take some time off, or you can spend during the last quarter and have a good last quarter. But until such time, don't leave your job. Make sure you have at least 6 months worth of expenses tucked away and a backup plan in the form of a job that gives you a measure of flexibility with your time. A plan, like a contract, is as good as the paper that it is written on. You write it down, you stick it on the wall where you can see it all the time because it keeps you honest and it keeps you true and on the straight and narrow until you reach your goal. In the next video, we're going to talk about assembling the team and the importance of there being no I in team. Talk to you later.